Matt Gaetz withdraws his nomination for Attorney General. We'll tell you about the events leading up to his withdrawal. Then, it used to be automatic, but now parents in Rockbridge County and Buena Vista struggle to get their children into Lexington schools.
The main reason we want our kids in Lexington City schools is because of the class size.
After that, bomb cyclones rage across a snowy Northwest, destroying homes and businesses. Katie Eubanks tells us to expect cold weather as Thanksgiving approaches. And later, Lexington churches band together to provide food and clothes for Thanksgiving. All that coming up right now on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news from Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Emmy Amison.
And I'm Caden Buss. Former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is withdrawing his nomination for Attorney General. The former Florida congressman announced the news on X this afternoon, saying his confirmation was becoming a distraction to the Trump fans' transition. President-elect Donald Trump says he respects Gaetz' decision. This news comes the same day CNN reported the House Ethics Committee learned of a second sexual encounter with a 17-year-old girl. Sources say the woman testified that she had 2 sexual encounters with Gaetz at one party in 2017. This second sexual encounter had not been previously reported.
The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The Netherlands-based court said he found reasonable grounds to believe Netanyahu allegedly used starvation as a method of warfare. The court also says Netanyahu bears responsibility for crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other inhumane acts. The ICC rejected Israel's challenge of its jurisdiction over the matter. Netanyahu's office calls the arrest warrant absurd and anti-Semitic.
A former University of Virginia student pleaded guilty yesterday to fatally shooting 3 football players and wounding 2 other students on the Charlottesville campus in 2022. 25-year-old Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. pleaded guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated malicious wounding, and 5 counts of use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Authorities said that Jones opened fire on a charter bus as he and other students arrived back on campus after a field trip. A 4-day sentencing hearing is scheduled to begin in February. At Dulles Airport this week, 28 pounds of cocaine were discovered in hot chocolate packages. Customs and Border Protection officers say they seized from contraband from a Guatemalan shipping company. This comes just 2 weeks after nearly 2 pounds of heroin was seized at the airport. Also from Guatemala, CBP canceled the courier's visa and deported them but did not press charges.
Parents living outside of the city apply to get their children into the highly ranked Lexington City schools, sometimes for the small class sizes. But Juliana Stevenson reports the city is now rejecting students to keep classes small.
Over 150 students living in Rockbridge County or Buena Vista applied to attend Lexington City schools this year. The division had to reject students, even those with siblings already attending the schools.
3 or 4 years ago, I would have said it was not that difficult, that most of the time we'll have a spot available.
Eric Evge, a parent living in Rockbridge County, has 2 children who attend Lexington City schools. When he applied to enroll his kindergartner, he was denied.
The main reason we want our kids in Lexington City schools is because of the class size.
The school division is rejecting students to keep class sizes low, but 5 grade levels are still larger than its preferred class sizes.
We've had a larger number of people move into the city late spring and during the summer, which makes your numbers skewed.
Walters said the division is considering changing its policy to wait to accept student applications in July. The schools can assess their final enrollment numbers before accepting applications. Evge said he found out that his son could not attend the city's elementary school 2 weeks before the first day.
It was kind of a mad scramble because we had just anticipated that he was going to get into Lexington City schools. We've heard from different people that they have either selling their home in the county, moving into the city, or even going as far as to buy a home and rent it out so they could have that Lexington City address.
Walters said that in the future, it is possible that the division will have to reject applications for students who already attend Lexington City schools.
There are no additional spaces to add extra classes or to add additional teachers. So we're kind of limited with where we are with space at this time, and so that's going to be something that we have to consider moving forward.
If you think the hour-long drive to Waynesboro's Target supermarket isn't worth it for the holidays, you're not alone. Target is expecting a surprisingly weak winter shopping season. The company forecasts Wednesday sales during the final quarter of the year will be flat. It also lowered its profit forecast and reported a sluggish sales increase of just 0.3% during its latest quarter. Target is a bellwether for consumer spending habits in the retail sector as a whole. Target can survive a weak holiday season, but many smaller companies depend on strong sales during the holidays. Target is struggling in part because its core middle-class customer base has been strained by higher prices overall.
Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, a proposed no-interest loan from Lexington City Council to install sprinklers in small businesses, but the city isn't sure if downtown landowners will take them up on it.
In the meantime, there's that tiny little fireman mounted to the ceiling with his small hose putting the water on the fire to control it.
Some Americans are fleeing to Europe after the election in pursuit of golden visas. We'll tell you how they work and who can get EU citizenship. All that coming up next on the Rockbridge Report. Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. Lexington City Council has set aside $250,000 to provide building owners with a no-interest loan to install fire sprinklers. The Rockbridge Report's Bella Timmerding has more on how the City Council's proposed program could impact Lexington's historic Main Street.
Only 32 out of 150 buildings in Lexington's commercial business district protected by fire sprinklers. City Council has proposed a plan to help protect the closely built buildings from sustaining significant fire damage.
There's a desire to protect our historic downtown. You know, when the Southern Inn burned in 2010, to the left of it, what is now the Lexington Running Shop, was a Hallmark card and gift store. The fire penetrated through openings, cracks in the brick wall between those two buildings, and extended into the adjoining store.
Chief Dickerson said fire sprinklers can extinguish fires before firefighters arrive.
In the meantime, there's that tiny little fireman mounted to the ceiling with his small hose putting the water on the fire to control it.
Rebecca Logan of Main Street, Lexington emphasized that 85% of businesses affected by fire never open again. She hopes that Council's proposed program will encourage property owners to invest in keeping their property and tenants safe.
Most of the businesses do not own their properties, so the fact that the city has created some funding to allow property owners to put fire suppression into these historic buildings, most of them don't have it unless they've been seriously renovated recently.
But business owners are concerned about long-term revenue loss if forced to shut down during the sprinkler installation process.
Like if we have to shut down for 3 weeks, you know, that's like, how do we pay our employees? Like, there's a lot of other implications besides that. Where would they work? Where would they get money if we're shut down for 3 weeks to have to put a sprinkler system in?
City staff says the time it will take to install the sprinklers will vary depending on building size. Lexington City Council is likely to vote on the proposed program after the first of the year. If approved, property owners can apply through the City Economic Development Authority. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Bella Timmerding.
Downtown Buena Vista is growing. This year, the city has gotten a new town square and the new campus of Mountain Gateway Community College. But some BV businesses are unhappy with the city changes. The Rockbridge Report's Channing Schilling is live in Buena Vista. Channing, what are these business owners concerned about?
Well, Caden, even though Buena Vista's downtown is getting shoppers and foot traffic, some business owners say they're lacking city support.
To many small businesses that play an important role in the city's culture and economy. Some business owners think they're getting unequal treatment from the city because of their business's location. Kim Gilbert, the owner of Bougie Sass Boutique in downtown Buena Vista, thinks her business is overlooked because it isn't in the main 2 blocks of the city's downtown.
I have been in business for 30 years. My business actually used to be in that block. 7 years ago, I moved up here and I'm not included in anything. It infuriates me with Mountain Days.
Mountain Day is a large festival that happens annually in Buena Vista.
And it is very frustrating that they push all of the traffic on those 2 blocks. And I am a half a block from, the where the cutoff is. And there's no mention of my business or anything at all.
Other businesses have similar struggles on Mountain Day.
For Mountain Day, there weren't any signs that was saying that there's other businesses on this area or there's more businesses or more food options in this area. It was basically closed off in 2 roads, and people are not going to wander off.
Parking is also a problem for businesses not in the 2 central blocks, especially in the winter.
It had snowed a few days before. The city had come through, and on those 2 blocks down there, they bring a dump truck and the bulldozer and everything, and they clear off all the parking spots so that people have somewhere to park downtown. And it is like mountains of snow out here. And so I was livid.
Buena Vista City Council is working on creating its first strategic plan. Mayor Tyson Cooper said that business owner input will be instrumental in developing the best plan for the future.
They've been really supportive since we got here, don't get me wrong, but it's not like we talk on a monthly basis, and I think that could help.
It takes every single business in Buena Vista to make Buena Vista good.
The city is working to address these concerns in its strategic plan and support businesses across downtown. Live from Buena Vista for the Rockbridge Report, I'm Channing Schilling. Back to you, Kaden.
Thanks, Channing.
A Texas congressman admitted this week to being detained at Washington Dulles Airport earlier this month. Republican Representative Michael McCall said he became disoriented after mixing alcohol with Ambien. Airport authorities say they intercepted McCall after missing his flight and held him until a family member picked him up. McCall said in his statement that the incident does not reflect who he is or strives to be. McCall recently won an 11th term and is chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee.
In international news, Europe may soon see an influx of American Democrats who are unhappy about another Trump presidency. Wealth management consultants reported interest in so-called golden visas has skyrocketed almost 400% among U.S. citizens since the election. Golden visas allow people to gain foreign citizenship or residence through various investments. One Italian village in Sardinia is trying to cash in on the trend. Following the election, it offered low-priced homes to Americans looking to flee the U.S. Many American expats who pursue citizenship by investment typically don't plan to relocate permanently. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, Washington State reels from the impact of bomb cyclones that toppled trees onto homes and businesses.
I could hear it creaking, and I wasn't sure if it was falling or just like moving in the wind, and then I heard it breaking through some branches.
Wow, we definitely just had a cold morning here in Lexington, and I'm here to tell you that those conditions are here to stay. Tune into my forecast for more. I'm Katie Eubanks with the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. A savage winter storm called a bomb cyclone slammed into the northwestern U.S. with deadly effect Tuesday night, with more severe weather on the way. Snow in Washington state covered in a number of massive trees that smashed homes and businesses. Authorities report at least 2 storm-related deaths, as Laura Aguirre has the details.
This is crazy. There's trees up everywhere. There's houses destroyed.
Driving snow and a slew of downed trees mark a bomb cyclone's powerful impact across parts of the Pacific Northwest overnight.
I was not expecting this snowstorm at all.
But in it came with hurricane-force winds gusting over 70 miles per hour that toppled countless trees, in many cases taking power lines with them, knocking hundreds of thousands of people off the grid. Puget Sound Energy, which services the Seattle area, says the mass outage could last multiple days. This North Seattle resident, one of the lucky ones.
I could hear it creaking, and I wasn't sure if it was falling or just like moving in the wind, and then I heard it breaking through some branches.
Many of his neighbors spent the day assessing damaged homes and vehicles. The intense winter storm also being blamed for some fatalities. One of them, a Bellevue, Washington woman who fire officials say was killed in her shower when a tree crushed her home. In the mountainous passes between Portland and Central Oregon, tire chains are a must.
Getting pretty delirious now. We're on minute 37 of getting these chains on.
The wicked weather isn't over. Forecasters say the bomb cyclone essentially tapped an atmospheric river, which is expected to dump torrential rain over the region through tomorrow, with forecasters predicting Northern California could reach a rare level 4 of 4 flood risk over the next 24 hours. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, Emmy and Katie, for the first time this year, I had to wear a winter coat this morning.
Well, Kaden, word around the studio is that around 30 minutes ago it was flurrying outside. So, Katie, can you tell us more about this weather?
That's exactly right. It's definitely been very cold this morning in Lexington, and I'm here to tell you that those conditions are here to stay. So now, starting with our live shot here in Buena Vista, right now we do have cloud coverage, definitely contributing to those gloomy and cold conditions. So now, when looking at our current conditions, our high today was 45 degrees, and our low was a very cold 23. Barometric pressure is at 29.62 inches, wind speed at 7 miles per hour, and humidity is at 56%. So now, when observing our radar, as you can see, definitely some clouds moving in, a little bit of snow 30 minutes ago, as Emmy was saying. It is very cold here, and that is going to continue. So now, when looking at our current conditions in the area, we do have cloud coverage everywhere. Clouds are covering Lexington 44 degrees, Buena Vista 44, Stanton 42, Charlottesville 49, Lynchburg 47, and now when looking to the west, Covington 41 degrees and Roanoke 43. So now when looking at our 5-day forecast, starting out on Friday, those cold conditions are continuing, a high of 42 and a low of 29, definitely still some clouds, and now transitioning into this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, a high of 51 on Saturday, a low of 41, Sunday a high of 60 and a low of 30. So now looking at Monday and Tuesday, it is warming up just a little bit. Monday a high of 63 and a low of 33, and then Tuesday a high of 54 and a low of 38. So now, speaking of cold conditions, this weekend it is going to be very cold, so make sure to grab those coats when you're looking at those sports. Back to you, Emmy and Kaden.
Thanks so much, Katie. Coming up on the Rockbridge Report, women's soccer advances to the NCAA round of 16. Mackenzie Kane talks to the players.
And later, local churches and charities come together to donate food and clothes. Stay with us here at the Rockbridge Report. Welcome back to the Rockbridge Report. It's been an exciting year so far for all of our sports teams.
Yeah, I know that Generals men's and women's soccer are in the Sweet 16 and are vying for Finals 4 spots in Las Vegas.
That's right, Kaden. Both teams had largely successful weekends, so let me update you. Washington and Lee women's soccer will advance to the NCAA round of 16 after beating Ohio Northern at home on Sunday. It was also a record-breaking 20th win for our Generals. Our own Mackenzie Kane has the story.
Good afternoon, Rockbridge. The Washington and Lee women's soccer team, currently ranked 9th in the nation, is on their way to the Sweet 16 game for the first time in nearly 20 years. And I'm joined here today by head coach Tiffany Pins. Now, coach, this team continues to reach milestones this season, having just secured a new win record after last weekend's game. What is it about this team that you attribute the success to?
Honestly, a lot of coaches will say this, but it's the honest truth. It's our culture. They have really have committed to each other and our game plan, both on and off the field. And early on, we talked about just taking one day at a time, and that's what they truly did. And they've worked really hard. They've made adjustments, but through all of it, they have remained in a really good place with one another, and that has been game-changing.
Now, they're not the only ones reaching milestones this season. In your 20 years of coaching women's soccer, this is your first 20-win season. Mm-hmm. How does that feel?
I mean, it's exciting. Of course, I'm a competitor. I love to win. But at the end of the day, I always just want our teams to be at their best at the end of the season. And this group has really grown through every single opportunity that they've gotten. So I'm really happy with where we're at.
Now, Coach, before I let you go, I'm curious, is there anything that the team has taught you about your coaching style or even just yourself in general this year?
I mean, they have a lot of belief. And not that I haven't had belief in our teams in the past, but they're incredibly confident and they're fearless. And so I think they've just reminded me that every single day when you put the work in and you have a positive mindset, really good things are going to happen.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck this weekend. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm Mackenzie Kane.
Men's soccer is also heading to the round of 16 after a thrilling win over number 15 Johns Hopkins. The Generals outscored the Blue Jays 4-2 in a penalty shootout. while women's volleyball advances to the round of 32 after beating John Jay College in 3 straight sets just today. And women's basketball upset Emory last weekend in Atlanta 84-79 after a strong fourth quarter performance. VMI men's basketball lost in a road contest against Power 5 Pitt Monday night 93-48. They'll be back again in action tomorrow against Davidson. And VMI football will travel to North Carolina for their last road trip of the year. They're looking to rebound after their 58-28 loss to Western Carolina last weekend. After winning the USA South Championship last weekend against Salem College 3-1, volleyball team punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They'll play Trinity University today. And men's basketball fell to Division I Radford 96-50 in an exhibition game. That's all I have for sports. Back to you, Caden.
Thanks so much, Caroline. Lexington's local churches are collaborating with the Rockbridge Area Relief Association to provide food and clothes for those in need this holiday season. The Rockbridge Report, Alejandra Pacheco has the story.
Lexington's local churches are collecting money, food, and clothing for an increasing number of people in need this holiday season. According to the Rockbridge Area Relief Association, food insecurity in Rockbridge County has significantly increased since 2023.
We are averaging 905 visits per month in 2024, whereas in previous years it was around 500 to 600 per month.
The Rockbridge Area Relief Association helps churches connect with those who need help. St. Patrick Catholic Church, Grace Episcopal Church, and Lexington Presbyterian Church give a portion of parishioners' donations to RARA. Each church also has its own programs and events during the holidays.
So at Thanksgiving we have a food drive, and we just have a basket in the narthex, and so people can bring food in, and then we give it to the RARA Food Bank.
Grace Episcopal Church opens its doors for a holiday meal.
The last 2 years we've done a Thanksgiving dinner here for anybody who wanted to come, and we've had people who were just in town for the day or a couple of homeless people in the area.
Lexington Presbyterian Church bakes loaves of bread in their community kitchen and donates them to RARA.
We've had a bread ministry this fall and produced several times. I think it's 6 or 7 times that we produced bread to take en masse over to RARA to donate.
The church's community outreach team also organized a coat drive. The churches see the services they provide during the holidays as an extension of the work they do year-round. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Alejandra Pacheco.
That's all for the Rockbridge Report. Thanks for watching.
We're off next week, but tune in December 5th for our final show of 2024. See you next time.